Donc je vais ajouter donc Ian à la discussion.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi again.
I'm back.
Okay, so show us what's
Yeah,
around.
so sorry, it's slightly windy here. So we're moved over from this is the library.
It's quite noisy at your side. Can you please just adjust your AirPods?
Yeah. So this is moving over to from the library over to the Gateway building, the Prospect, which is where we have our Riverside Cafe, but also our one-stop shop. So on each campus we have a one-stop shop called the Gateway. So any queries, any answers that students need, whether it's timetabling, financial guidance, submitting work for late reasons or anything like that, then go to one building, speak to one person, and get all their questions answered. So instead of students going from one building to another, speaking to 5, 6 different people, you can speak to one person and they'll get all your queries answered. Because one thing we want to do is make sure that students have the best student experience, and that's why we kind of had this approach. It's similar to the open door policy we have with academics. So whether the professors, doctors, they just need to make an appointment is always the best method to get an appointment with an academic, but it's very casual, very informal. Have a coffee, talk about work with these professors and doctors. It's very much all aimed at having the best student experience. We move over here, we've got some basketball courts, football, which students can use as part of the sports program that we have.
And is it available to all students, or do they have to pay for a club to join?
They can join one of the clubs and societies. The international office actually has a football team. So if there's any students coming over and they want to give us a game, we're more than happy to accommodate the game. We're always looking for new teams. We played a team from Egypt and we played a team from Nigeria. So any other teams or any other students want to play the international office, more than welcome to do so. You see the building in behind the courts. This is the media school, the Faculty of Arts, Creative Industries. So that's where we have a cinema, we have green rooms, radio stations, all that type of equipment. So that's quite a large building there. Lots of art. I'm trying to walk around to stay away from all the lawnmowers making the noise. And as we walk along the riverside, we have the National Glass Centre, which is owned by the university. And this is where we do MA Glass and Ceramics. So on this campus, we're very much focused on business, law, tourism, arts, creative industries, computing, and engineering. On the other campus, which is around 10-15-minute walk, or we also have the campus bus, which takes 5 to 6 minutes free of charge to all students to get to the other campus. That's where we have all our health provision, so health, science and well-being, everything from pharmacy, psychology, nursing. We also have medicine, which will be available to international students in a few years' time, but not at the moment. We also have, at the moment, we have our foundation centre there, but by September, they're moving into a new building. So the Cambridge Education Group Foundation students will be on this campus, and I'll show you that building soon. Brand new building, open to our foundation and pre-master students. As we walk through here, so I'm coming up to the main campus now. As we go through, car park available for students if they need it.
They need to buy a car first.
So this building coming up here is for computing and engineering. So we have some fantastic engineering labs, specialised in electronic and electrical engineering, automotive engineering and mechanical engineering. Some fantastic facilities. Unfortunately, I can't go into the buildings at the moment as they're getting prepared. In this building also.
But anyway, I've been at the university in July last summer, And
Yeah.
I took some photos from inside and also some videos that students can find on our Casa Education Instagram page on the highlights. So there are special albums for each university, and one of them is for University of Sunderland. So if they want to see inside, they can just check our Instagram page or the University of Sunderland website and YouTube pages as well.
Absolutely, some fantastic computing facilities. Doing some great courses in terms of cyber security and big data now, which is quite big, popular around the world now. This is the quadrant. Sorry, it's slightly windy. So you can see all faculties from this point. So there's the Gateway building I was referring to in terms of the one-stop shop. The media school. We've got our own live radio station, Spark FM, 107 FM. It's also digital if anyone in their home country wants to listen. That's the Sir Tom Curry Lecture Theatre, where we have up to 400 students at one time. Moving over to the business school, and then here's our computing and engineering faculty. What I'll do is I'll start walking over to where the new foundation centre will be, so you can get a good view for that for any of those students needing foundation or pre-masters.
Especially the ones applying for pharmacy.
What's that, sorry?
Especially the ones applying for pharmacy program.
Yeah. So the pharmacy program itself is actually delivered on the other campus, but for the foundation, it will be on this campus. And the good thing is about the foundation is that throughout the foundation program, we have an engagement plan where academics who will be teaching on the bachelor will get to meet students and interact with students and do workshops with the students whilst they're in foundation. But also we try to keep students that are in the same classes in foundation in the same classes whilst they're on the bachelor. So the transition from foundation onto bachelor is quite seamlessly, quite easy, the transition to go from foundation onto the bachelor. As we walk up here, you can see Emily Sunday, who's our Chancellor. Very famous singer.
Yes.
And then this is the entrance of the business school, well, the back entrance, the Veg Vardy Centre, which is the business school. We also have a mock law court for our law students, so students can practice mooting and debating. We've got the campus bus stop, so this is where the campus bus comes. It's quite regular, every 15 minutes, half an hour during the busy times. Students simply get on, show their student card, goes to all accommodations, and it also goes to the other campus. Jump on, jump off, whenever you want. So getting around the city centre is relatively easy. This here in front of me is the new foundation centre, Wearside View. So come September, all teaching for the foundation and the pre-masters will be in this building. Very modern, all the facilities that the students need. And like the other buildings, we are preparing for social distancing, and hopefully that will not be required, but if it is to be required, then we're prepared for it.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about the induction week? Because some students, they might be traveling by themselves without their parents, especially the ones applying for bachelor programs. And they are, especially parents are afraid, like what will happen when they arrive the UK? How will they be received?
Absolutely. So the most important thing is to arrive as quickly as possible, really, because we want to prepare students before the classroom starts. We know that sometimes that's not possible for all students, and we do have a little bit of flexibility around that. But the earlier you get here, the quicker you'll hit the ground running in terms of your studies. So my approach to that would be in terms of letting us know your arrival dates as early as possible. So flight numbers, times of arrival, and what we're trying to do at the moment is try, where possible, to schedule as many airport pickups as possible. This might not be possible for everyone, but we're trying to assess which students we can accommodate and help with transport to accommodation and to on campus. But the earlier we get the flight details, the earlier we can make arrangements. If we can't, we'll direct.
And what are the airports you advise students to fly to?
So the airport is Newcastle International Airport. Most is transit, so you can go via Heathrow, Amsterdam, Paris, or via Dubai. They're the most popular flights. And just to get them details as quickly as possible, and we'll try our best to help students arrange airport pickups, or at least guide them to where they need to go, and someone will greet them either at the airport or at their accommodation. But the key message is get here as quickly as you can. Don't wait until teaching started, because you're always playing catch up. We know sometimes that's not possible. We will put measures in place to catch up on what you can, but the earlier you get here, the more success and the better student experience you will have. So here's Wayside View, where our foundation centre is going to be. And just a small walk up there takes you into the city of Sunderland, where all the shops, cafes, bars, restaurants are, and also our city campus. Just a small walk. Shops reopened as of Monday gone, and there's going to be an announcement today in the UK on hospitality industry. So in terms of restaurants and cafes, we expect them to be slowly opening up within the next 2 weeks.
So again, there is no reason to worry about the intake, the September intake, because as for now, it will happen, and students can still go to the UK and study on campus.
Absolutely. The biggest risk is applying late and missing the opportunity. Since we announced that we were producing CAS early last week, the amount of applications that we're receiving is unbelievable. And our team's working tirelessly to get them offers out within 48 hours, but the volume's so big. Certain programs are filling up very quickly, such as the MBA with placement. So we have a 2-year MBA, which includes a 12-month placement. And let's not forget that all international students have the opportunity for a post-study work visa. So after they graduate, they can stay in the UK and work for a certain period of time. And the MBA is very, very popular across the world. But we can only take so many students because there's a placement element. So if students are interested in the MBA and they want a placement opportunity, we also do the MBA with no placement. But the MBA with placement, the demand is high, and are encouraged to get applications in as quickly as possible. We've also got, I'm sure you
And do they need to have work experience before applying to this type of MBA?
Yeah, they'll need a certain level of experience, yeah. I'm sure you mentioned about scholarships as well, so we've got some early bird discounts and advantages of applying early and also paying deposits early. So the quicker in the process students are able to apply and pay the deposits, etc., the more opportunities they're going to have. And I must stress to apply early so that there's no disappointment.
Okay.
Now I'm back along the riverside here, where the accommodation is. When the sun's out, it's a beautiful location. And that's it for the St. Peter's campus in terms of a tour. Is there any other questions coming through, Sarah?
No, just people are watching. Because I've been answering like all the questions regarding the entry requirement, visa procedure, scholarship, and both campuses in London and Sunderland earlier. Yeah, we had like 1 hour discussion before.
One thing to mention is, I mean, not a big number, but some students from your region, Sarah, require English language. Most years we have what we call English for academic purposes classes running now leading up to the summer, which is 5 weeks for every 0.5 of an IELTS lower or equivalent. We've actually moved this program online. So if any students have an IELTS or equivalent and just missing the entry requirements on English, we have an online English academic purpose program that students can enroll on in order to get their English ability up to the level required before starting in September.
Okay, just to clarify this point, if, for example, we have,
Sorry, Sarah.
For example, we have a student who accepts. Yes, if for example we have a student who's interested to take these 5 weeks of English language program before the start of the program.
Yeah.
So does he need to take the IELTS UKVI after finishing this program, or
As long as he
will
gets
he
the
progress
requirements from the
directly?
university. So our marking system is equivalent to IELTS. So as long as the student gets 6.0, they don't need to take another IELTS, they can come directly onto the program.
Okay, perfect. So this applies to students entering for the bachelor or master
Exactly the
program,
same, yeah. Exactly the same. And we accept a wide range of English language qualifications in order to get into the online EAP. And I'm sure you can share the start dates and last date of application, etc. after this, Sarah, because I'm not quite sure I know them from the top of my head.
Yes. So students are asking how much does it cost for the English language. I will share that with you guys
it's
after the live.
It's roughly around about £900 for every 4 weeks needed.
Okay. And approximately how many hours a week will they be studying?
For the English language, I suspect it'll probably be around about 25 hours per week.
Okay.
We have a good success rate.
Okay, can you tell students about the work? Students have the right to work up to 20 hours a week while studying any bachelor or master program. So, based on your experience, which kind of jobs can they have?
Yeah, so for part-time jobs, as part of a visa stipulation, is that the students can no longer work any more than 20 hours per week. And part-time jobs in and out the city centre, so there's cafe work, restaurants, shops, just casual work. University really doesn't particularly help in finding part-time jobs, but we do have a career service, so we can help with things like CVs, interview techniques, etc. And there is some bulletins in terms of jobs available which students can apply for. But Sunderland is very much a student city. Hello?
I think we've missed you. Yes, you're
Hello?
back. Yes,
okay, good,
we
good.
can see you, we can hear you.
So I said that Sunderland's very much a student city. I'm just going to go on this bus stop so I can hear myself because it's very windy. So Sunderland's very much a student city, so the majority of the people in the city centre are students. So Sunderland is actually the biggest city in the north by geographical area. In terms of the town centre, the majority of the people living in the town centre are students. So students, whether they're going from accommodation, to the classroom, to cafes, restaurants, bars, etc. The majority of the people are students. So you get a sense that students are very familiar with other students and it's very friendly. And the good important thing about how many students are in the city centre is that the locals, such as myself and others around the city, appreciate what international students bring to our local economy. So they're welcomed with open arms by the locals, even though the locals live in the suburbs and things like that. But when they're in the city centre, they absolutely love to see international students. Whether it's a taxi driver taking me somewhere, they'll be telling me, bring some more students from Morocco, for instance. We need more students because they mean so much to the locals here. And that's fantastic. One thing I forgot to mention is what's fantastic for the students is when they graduate in the middle of the Stadium of Light, Sunderland's football ground, once a Premier League football ground. So it's fantastic.
Okay.
It's a 50,000 seater stadium and students walk out on the pitch and they, can you still hear me? Yeah. I can't.
Yes, yes.
So it's a 50,000 seat stadium. Walk on the pitch, get the graduation certificate, your bachelor, masters, from Sir David Bell, our Vice Chancellor, and also Emily Sanday, our Chancellor. It's a fantastic experience and a great, great occasion for families and friends to come over and see students walk out in the middle of the football pitch. It's really, really great. And that's one thing we want to do, is not just give you a piece of paper. We want to solve your problem. Why do students want to go to university? Students want to go to university to progress their career, to get a job, to get lots of money. Let's not mistake it. It's not about getting a piece of paper, getting a bachelor or master's. It's about getting a job. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to solve that problem. We're not here to give you a piece of paper. What we do is we look after you before you enroll, during your time here, making sure you get the most of it. Don't just let time pass you by. Don't just sit in classrooms and get what you need to pass an exam. That's not what it's about. It's about getting involved in clubs, societies. We have everything from kayaking, canoeing, football, basketball, rock climbing, you name it. We've probably got a club in society. Join them, meet friends. Most job prospects come from your network. So whilst you're at university, build up your network. That's very, very important. Take up a work placement.
So this means if students go to Sunderland, even if it's a small city compared to London or other big cities in the UK, they will not feel bored, right? They will have a lot of things to do.
It's because of their problem for not getting out and about. There's plenty to do here. And it's about making the most of your time at university. I myself was a graduate at the University of Sunderland. I studied here. I used to like when I used to say I graduated 2 or 3 years ago, but actually, I think it's now 13 years ago since I graduated the university, and I've never left. And there's a lot of people like that. So once students come in touch with the university, they stay, or at least keep in touch. And that's where I lead up to when you graduate. We don't just leave you to go and defend for yourself. Our career service will help students the best they can in order to secure jobs. Myself, I secured a job at the university, for instance, before I graduated. And a lot of students who go on placement do get that opportunity. I believe it's around 89% of students who go on to placement, their provider of the job actually offers them a vacancy before they graduate, if they can, visa permitting and everything like that. So it's very...
So is this something easy for international students to find a job in the UK?
Yeah, I mean, depending on what program, I mean, it is quite competitive. But if students are willing to put the hard work in, make the effort, then there is opportunities available. And it doesn't need to be placements locally or nationally, for instance. It could be placements in their home country. As long as we can justify that it's meeting learning objectives throughout the program, then why not? Why not do a placement in Dubai? Why not do a placement in Marrakesh, Rabat, Casablanca? Why not? But we obviously need to assess to make sure that the meeting learning objectives and that our placement tutor here can support the studies and making sure that students are learning. Because a placement year is not just about gaining money. Gaining money is very much kind of the icing on the cake, the benefit of doing placement. The real benefit is getting that experience and learning on the job before you graduate. So when you do graduate, you're more employable than everyone else. Sometimes you go to lectures here, there'll be 400 people doing the same program as you in the same university. How will you get a job over them? Likewise, there could be thousands in the region doing the same program. Nationally, there'll be hundreds of thousands. Why would someone employ you? And that's why you need to make yourself employable during your studies, building your networks and things like that. And that's what we want to do. We want to solve your problem, which is go and get a job and earn lots and lots of money. Sorry, my AirPods have died.
Cool. So anyone having any other, yeah, I can see that. Anyone having any question? Can you tell us a little bit about the PhD programs? Like how can a student apply for a PhD?
The most important thing about PhD is have a research proposal. Know what you want to research. The amount of times students come to me and say, I want to do PhD in business. Yeah, That's a very, very wide subject area. We want research proposals that really get into the depth of a research topic. We don't want anything that's you just want a PhD because you want to become a doctor or professor in front of your name. We want to be solving real research issues and problems. So the first important thing is to understand really what you want to research, and then look at a kind of the research proposal. And the easiest thing to do for that, as my example, is go into a certain topic that you've identified within your dissertation or master's dissertation, and that's one thing that students do forget, is you've already done a lot of research in terms of your master's dissertation. If that's still an area that you want to focus your PhD on, why not expand on that dissertation? Why not really investigate one of the topics that come up within your existing research? And my advice is you really do need a research proposal before any consideration in terms of application, and really identify what kind of research topic you want to do. There's a list of themes and subject areas that we support on our website that I'd encourage you to go and visit. But before you start putting an application in, really be prepared for a couple of 1,000-word kind of summary on what your research interests are.
Okay, so here I have Hasna asking, how can someone apply for masters? So basically, you should have at least a bachelor degree, 2.2 honors, and also sit for the IELTS, get at least 6.0 with no less than 5.5 in one of the 4 elements. And we also need a recommendation letter and a CV in English, and a personal statement. So all these entry requirements, you can go back to my first live and
of course,
listen to them. Yes?
Send all that to you, Sarah, at Casa Education. Apply to Sarah will make the application
Thank
process
you.
fantastic, easy, not complicated. And things like visa, I think a lot of students worry and panic about visas, but actually, if you follow the guidelines and processes, it's relatively easy. But that's what Sarah's there for you, is to make that process as easy as possible. And she does her and her team will help you through the entire process, from application to getting here on campus. It will be easy. Sarah will promise that. And the campus bus has just turned up.
Thank you.
So
okay, so is this the free bus?
You must be thinking I need to get on it, but I actually don't.
Okay, so guys, it's one of the most affordable. You don't have the card, okay. So to sum up, like, University of Sunderland is one of the most affordable universities in the UK, and also it's you don't have like to spend a lot of money on a monthly basis there, as the accommodation is quite cheap compared to other cities. Plus, the good thing is we can offer you 1 year free accommodation. So basically, what you will end up paying is just your tuition fees and your food and your daily expenses. Bus is free, university is affordable, accommodation is free for the first year. So what are you waiting for? Just contact us, send us your documents, and let's get you to Sunderland. So Marwan is asking, does the university have a football team?
Yeah, we have various football teams.
Sunderland is known for
football.
football.
Football in the northeast here. I should be ashamed to say I'm actually a Newcastle United fan, but Sunderland has been in the Premier League. We've got a good following here. We're football mad. And we have various football teams, so in order to cater for different levels. So if you're very, very good, you'll be in the first team, and then we've got, depending on the level and capability, we've got other teams to accommodate. But we also have 5-side teams that just for fun that students can join. And as I say, we have our international office team. I would like to say we're unbeaten. I think we're more beaten than unbeaten, and we would like students to come and play us. Get your friends together, pull together a team in the international office with myself. We're more than happy to play you.
Okay, and I've also seen some of the students who went in the previous intakes mainly playing basketball. So the students also play basketball a lot at Sunderland. You have very nice basketball.
So we've got the outdoor courts here, and we've also got the indoor court in the city space. which is on the city campus. So we have three indoor basketball courts. But we do all sorts of sports: badminton, squash, tennis, football, American football, lacrosse. We've probably got every other sport covered. If, for instance, there was a sport that the students really interested in, which we don't offer, then we encourage students to go to the clubs and societies and set up a team, set up a sport, advertise it around campus, get some players, and we'll provide it on campus here.
Okay. So we hope to welcome as many Moroccan students in September intake, both for undergrad and postgrad programs. I think we've answered all the questions here. So the live will be saved on Casa Education Instagram page. So if you guys want to check it again or go back to the first live where I've been discussing the entry requirements, the scholarship opportunities, the programs available, and also the visa procedure, you can just go back to the first live, which is already on Casa Education Instagram page. So, Ian, do you want to add something?
One thing I would encourage is, Sarah, you've sent a lot of students here from Casablanca, Rabat, all the cities of Morocco. Is put them in touch with students so they know from the students' perspective what it's actually like here from Sunderland. I could be telling students anything, but I know from myself, I had a fantastic student experience here. Sunderland University did a lot for me, did change my life, as our slogan says, but heard from students in Morocco. But also get in touch with other students in Morocco who are planning on coming here in September, October. Meet them or virtually meet them before you come in order to make yourself have a friendly face. Travel with someone. Meet someone in Morocco before you come. Travel with them, and it'll make you more at ease. It might put your parents more at ease, because we know that traveling to a different country can be quite scary, can be quite daunting. But actually, when you get here, we're not that bad. We'll look after you. You'll be safe. You'll be secure. You'll have a fantastic experience. But for your own peace of mind, meet people coming here with, like yourself, to our campus in September, October. Meet them before you come and travel with them. It'll make a better experience for when you're on the flight.
Yeah. One more thing for parents, especially, is Sunderland a safe
we're in the
city?
top 10 safest cities in the UK. In all honesty, not much crime or anything in the UK per se anyway. We do have a campus in London, and where we're situated in London, it's relatively safe. So East London is based in Canary Wharf. It's a business district, so it's very safe. The things you probably hear around the news is almost kind of central London. But in terms of the northeast, very safe. We do have on-campus security 24 hours a day on both campuses and accommodation. But to be honest, that's just for peace of mind. We have no reported crime or any concerns or any issues. So students should feel very, very safe.
Okay. Because this is a question parents keep asking me, which is very normal. They worry about
if my children would go to Morocco or anywhere around the world to travel, I think I'd be very nervous and very apprehensive for sending my kids away. But I can reassure parents and students it's very, very safe in Sunderland. As I mentioned earlier, the locals here are very, they understand the benefits of bringing international students here, whether it's joint research, bringing money into the local economy, rely on international students. So the local restaurants, cafes, bars, shops, they rely on the international students that we bring here to the university. So international students come to Sunderland, very much feel valued within the local community. And I think that's important.
Okay. There is also one more thing that students and especially their parents keep asking me is it easy to find halal shops in Sunderland? The answer is yes. So there are a lot of Muslim communities in Sunderland, so they can find halal food and especially halal meat and chicken.
If I said about 15 years ago that halal restaurants and supermarkets in Sunderland, I would probably say there's very little choice. But again, the benefit of bringing international students to Sunderland has resulted in, we've got shawarma shops, we've got shisha places, we have halal supermarkets, halal restaurants, we have everything catered for every sort of community in Sunderland, and that's a result of international students. So quite a few of these places have been set up by ex-students, so alumni of ours, which is fantastic. We have a big Muslim community, we have this big Arab community based in Sunderland, so that's a result of strong international recruitment from the likes of Morocco, Egypt, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Lebanon, Jordan. So we have a very much diverse, but beyond that, we attract students from the United States of America, Canada, all across Europe, Africa, India, Southeast Asia, so Malaysia, Thailand, China, you name it. We've probably got a student from that country. Over 100 different nationalities on campus. And that's important as well when you're in the classroom. So you're learning from different cultures. And actually, like myself, you make friends from around the world in the classroom who you stay in touch with 15 years later. And you never know, they could be your next employer.
Good. You never know, exactly. Okay, anything to add to this live?
I'd just like to go back to the last point that I stressed earlier is just apply now is very important to make sure that you get your guaranteed place on the course. We aim to turn around applications very, very quickly in 48-hour turnaround. Get your offer in and secure your place now. Whether you have to decide later that it may not be the case for you, or you might be seeing what the UK situation is like in terms of COVID, just apply now to secure your place. Decide, if you have to decide later and see how the situation is, then fair enough, do that. But just apply now and get your offer.
Okay, thank you so much for your time and for answering all those questions and also showing us the campus. So it's always a pleasure to see you even online, and hope to see you very soon in Morocco, and welcome you here, you and all the team. Inshallah. Okay, thanks, thank you, Ian. Thank you for everything.
You too, bye.
Have a good day. Okay.